What's up, everyone? He's Gates Emoji. I'm Emerson Hip, and this is the Intoxicated Sports Report, and we are back
After
finally.
2 weeks.
You know, this is only the second episode we've done since being back from Paris,
Is that right?
which seemed weird. I thought for sure this was number 3, but it's number 2.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. We took last week off.
I'm happy to be back.
Yes. I think it was a needed week off. You know, we jumped right back in when we first got back. And then there just wasn't much going on in the sports world last week.
Yeah, and for our listeners that know us, sometimes we do this.
Yes, every now and then.
Every now and then we take, every other week, depending on the time of the season of the sports and all that. So, thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
It's now rewarded. We're back.
We did
Thank you for joining us as well.
We kind of did the post Super Bowl Colin Cowherd take a week off drill.
Is that what he does?
Yeah, every year after the Super Bowl. Or no, he'll do the week after, and then the next week he'll take it off.
Oh.
Because there's not shit going on.
Hey, Colin knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Colin knows what he's doing. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. It's great to be back in here.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. We're sitting here, we're watching my Sacramento Kings on TNT.
That's right.
Does not always happen, so I am happy about that.
Which this is great because today we're going to do our first edition of the NBA Contender rankings of the season. So look at this. The Kings on national television.
And also back-to-back Warriors, the first game.
Yeah, that's true.
Kings second game. Talk about some California love over here. Shout out to Tupac.
Sacramento.
I wasn't even thinking that. See, there we go. There we go. But I mean, the Kings, seriously, they have, I think this is probably their second primetime game of the year.
I've been kind of looking for them on national TV. It never seems to happen.
No.
But they deserve it.
It's nice though on Fubo. Like I could always watch the Kings games. Like I've watched a lot of more Kings games than I've watched in a long time in one season.
I threw one on the other day because I was like, well, there's nothing else on.
Yeah.
Just flip it over the foobs.
Shout out to them for that 176, 175 one over the Clippers 2 weeks ago.
That was wild.
Really wanted to mention that this week, but it's a little old now. But I think that was the second highest scoring game in NBA history.
Right.
And I caught that game from the second half on, I think. It was a great game. Some people were saying it's one of the best Kings games in history and all that.
Were they at home? I can't remember.
They were on the road.
They were on the road. Okay.
It was a huge game, too. The Clippers, I know
they were gaining some momentum.
kind of reeling now because of Westbrook.
Yeah.
But, anytime you play Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and your team like the Kings who's up and coming, it's a huge win.
Oh, yeah.
Do the Kings need to work on their defense?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But, they'll get there. They'll get there. So it's nice to see them. It's nice to be in here and watch them play.
Yes.
No doubt about that.
Do you know what we're drinking? Can you guess?
I saw you make it. Kind of. Do I know what this cocktail is? Do I know this?
You should. There's a little twist on a classic cocktail.
Okay, hold on.
It's like wine tasting, swish it around in your mouth.
Paloma?
No. It's not far off though. It's a margarita, but
I was thinking margarita, but I didn't think it'd be that easy.
No. So it's a margarita, but I used a week or so ago. I took some tequila and infused it with jalapenos overnight, and used that jalapeno tequila.
I feel really dumb right now. That wasn't easy. That's a gimme. That is an absolute gimme, and I whiffed.
Can you taste the jalapeno at all?
It's a little spicy.
It's a little spicy. It's kind of subtle though.
I like it though.
Yeah. I took all the seeds out in the membrane or whatever you call that. Yeah. So it kind of takes away from the spice because that's where all the spice is. But
speaking of spice, I was going through the ISR. You can go through every story that we've ever posted before. I saw one of us post chip challenge.
Oh yeah,
Dude, rough. Dude, I forgot. I mean, I don't know how I'd forget about something like that, but I did. And it was just us on the L-shaped couch back and over, and you're laying down, and I'm just head back, hydro flask full of water in hand, just dying.
I think to this day, that post of us doing it on our reel or whatever is by far our most popular post of all time.
Yes, I mean,
and that was only a couple months into doing this.
Yeah, so we've only gone down from there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, so does that mean we have to be like Jackass and start doing stupid shit?
Right.
Because that's how this is about, okay? I'm not doing that.
I wish we were more creative because I do see some stuff that other podcasts do on social media.
It's hard. Like those guys in the bread basket,
Oh yeah, amazing.
Those guys are great. They are fantastic.
I watch their videos for like 30 minutes a day.
How the hell? I mean, I know we're creative enough. I like to think I'm somewhat of a creative guy, but it's just like, it's hard to think of an idea and then have it work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's also like you work. I mostly have worked. I'm taking some time off right now.
That's true.
So don't really have all the time in the world to think about that kind of stuff.
That's true.
So it's not totally fair, but at the same time, I do wish we could implement some of that stuff.
We just gotta think about like what's like the stupid shit that we do
That could be entertaining
that
for
could
someone.
be entertaining.
Yeah, that's not a bad way. to think
Like how we do like with jersey numbers. Doesn't make any goddamn sense to anybody else
Right.
but us.
Yeah.
Like Devin says that she tries to figure it out. She tries to figure out our algorithm, but she's getting there, but she can't.
Like on what is a good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't understand like why I don't like she knows I don't like number 6 or anything with 6
I
in it.
hate 6 too.
Unless it's like 66.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Fly.
I can't explain it, it's just how I like it. So maybe that's something we can do. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. That's not really entertaining, but it's something that's niche
Yeah.
and different. I just like jersey numbers. I don't know. We're gonna talk about Patrick Marleau in a second, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like to me, jersey retirements are like almost the pinnacle of being a professional athlete. Besides winning a championship,
Right.
Or Pau Gasol, he has number retired.
Yeah.
Number 16,
That's not my favorite.
not my favorite. I could deal with it.
It's not horrible.
No.
It's better than 6 by itself.
It is. It just is.
To me, anytime you throw a 1 or a 2 in front of a number, it always helps it tremendously.
But I like 16 more than 26.
26.
26 to me is just.
They're
it's,
close.
It's just so bad. It's just like,
Really?
it reminds me of like Kyle Korver. It's just not. It's just not good.
But anyways,
So we'll figure something out. How about that? That's good. So you got something right there. Maybe we'll see. They're also like the breadbasket guys, and all these people are really like tech savvy. Like they know how to make it look good.
Right.
Like I guess we could figure it out.
we need to hire a
like a social media person.
expert or whatever.
Jeez,
you
I
want to
mean, we probably know some people.
call it.
But that
Who's gonna pay him though?
yeah, right. Exactly. We'll buy you a beer. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Another margarita in this fancy glass.
Mm-hmm.
You like these?
I don't know. I mean, I bought them, so I might as well use them.
There. Yeah.
I think they do actually really keep the glass or the drink cold. I don't like the way they sweat too much, but
I don't like it either.
But
it's whatever. I mean, a regular.
It kinda tells you
any kind of cup
it'll sweat a little bit.
condensates. You know what I mean? So.
Although those whiskey glasses I have, I feel like are pretty good for not doing that. But I don't know.
I try not to think about whiskey since the old-fashioned incident of 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Not good. Not good. Yeah, I say that now, but in about an hour and a half, when you ask me for an old-fashioned, I'll be like, yeah, I can have one. It was fucking bad, man. It was bad. I was looking at my blanket in my room, which I washed. Well, and I see this stain. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I thought my cat pissed on my blanket.
Oh shit!
I'm like, oh no, that's
You
from me.
forgot about it.
That's from me puking. On it. I'm excited to let it sit out. Like I'm hungover as shit. I'm not gonna do my laundry right now.
Right.
You know, so I'll bite the bullet on that one.
Just a reminder, if you did or didn't listen to the last episode, Gage had a good Daytona 500 day or night, however you want to put that.
Not a bold prediction because we're gonna take a shot here anyways in a second. I am not gonna be the drunkest person in NASCAR this year. And I know you're gonna go boo, but I don't want to be the drunkest person. That's gonna be Garrett or possibly Danny. Sorry, Darts, we like talking shit about you. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, there's two sides of this thing for me. It was hilarious seeing how drunk you were the last time, but I would like for you to actually experience the race this time.
No, I want a healthy medium.
Yeah.
I want to have a nice buzz walking in. I don't want to be stumbling walking in at noon.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of funny, but it's embarrassing. It's not something that I necessarily. I just don't want to be the drunkest person there.
I don't think that's hard with our group. We got some loose cannons.
But we also have some drinkers though. Like the guys that we drink with.
They can throw them
They
back.
can throw it down and not look as sloppy as I can. Like
Right.
for me, it's just. And I ate a lot of food that day at NASCAR. Remember, I think I had some glizzies. I definitely had some chips and everything that was available. I ate. But
Did you have breakfast?
I had the eggs, didn't I?
Okay.
We had the eggs,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I had food. It's just
I think we did start drinking a lot before the food actually hit us, though. So I think that's another big thing.
I was also looking through the old stories of that day. Phenomenal. It was a phenomenal day.
Yeah,
it really was. It looked funner than the day you guys had last year. No offense.
Yeah, last year was a little funky. I mean, we still had a good time, but some shit happened.
So we'll see what happens. Because I'm, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And just
I can't wait to.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Absolute tunnel vision.
Hopefully,
and we got some things on the docket too. Like we got things to look forward to. But I'm looking forward to NASCAR.
Right. That's the next thing. Well, I mean, we're gonna go to a Sharks game hopefully next Saturday, but
we're going to do a Giants game.
Yeah, that too.
So
that too.
That too.
Shit.
Shout out Pops. shout out Pops.
That's right. That's right. Should we start the podcast?
Yeah.
What do we got going on today?
We got a lot of NHL news. So
we don't talk about hockey, but I feel like today we have some stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. PSG news that we'll go through quickly, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't.
NFL, of course. You know this podcast. We can't go through one episode without talking about the NFL.
I mean, it's always relevant. Right?
It's the worldwide leader. NBA. And last but not least, a little UFC talk.
Ooh.
I'm glad you mentioned this because I was going to mention this for last call.
I feel like it's a little bigger than last call news, personally.
I like that.
Yeah.
And you actually watched this fight.
I did.
How often do you get to watch fights? Never. With your old work schedule?
Yeah.
Never.
I remember I was very fortunate. Remember like the first handful of fights, like coming out of COVID, sort of. And Conor McGregor had a big one. I think he was returning to the ring early on.
Wasn't that the one that he broke his leg?
I want to say yeah.
Because
yeah,
I remember I was watching.
Was that against Gaethje or something like that? One of those guys.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
I remember watching that fight at Jeremy's brother's house in Vacaville. He has the pool, has a pool in the backyard. He had the TV set up, and I remember Connor busted his shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So yes, I was fortunate enough because we were working short shifts back then. I was getting off at 9:00.
Yeah, that's right.
I was able to get back right at the start of that one.
I remember watching at Dover, Jake Paul sleeping Nate Robinson.
Oh, really? I don't think I was
He
there for
slept
that.
his ass. You might not have been there for that
I
one.
don't think I was. I have not watched him step into the ring. But anyways, let's start with hockey. So Sharks news first. Like you said, there was a jersey retirement. That man was Mr. Patrick Marleau, who became the first Shark to have his number retired in the franchise's history.
Well deserved.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of knew this was going to happen. But
Was he the first? Was that he their first draft pick ever?
no, he came into the league in '97, and
Okay.
they were 91, 92 was their first season.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that late. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But, I mean, he is Mr. Shark. He's earned that nickname. He's all-time leader in games played in the NHL, let alone the Sharks.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
All-time leader in Sharks history in goals and points. So this makes it pretty easy.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, yep, absolutely.
He should get a statue.
Yeah, I mean, if there was going to be any Shark, obviously getting the number retired, I don't know if having statues is a big thing in the NHL or not. Like among
Unless you're Gretzky.
I'm sure he has one.
Like I think Gretzky has one in front of
Staples?
Staple or
Really?
Yeah, Crypto. Whatever.
Oh, Crypto. Yeah.
I want to say he does.
Okay.
I mean, it's Gretzky. I'm not saying Marlowe's Gretzky. I'm not saying that.
But the thing is, he
played
never
for
played there.
Well,
Wasn't he playing in the? They were playing the Forum.
Well, I mean, Magic Johnson's statue's
True.
there, and I see what you mean.
Right.
I think it's just they're
yeah.
commemorating
Right.
the people playing for.
The LA teams. Yeah. But
Well, I mean, that's like Willie Mays. He was.
this is also true.
Okay.
Good point. I stand. I put me in my place. Thank you, Gage.
Thank you.
But
I got one problem with the Marlowe number retirement.
did you watch it?
I caught a little bit of it. I thought the whole presentation was great. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought the number font. See, let me go back to the numbers. I thought the font of the number should have been what he played, like the old school block numbers. You know what I mean? I think they did it to what they wear now.
They did look a little interesting.
It looked a little too modern for my liking.
It would have been cool if they did the era between like when he became a Shark, like the first like 10 years of that.
Like I'm just telling you, like if you look at the jersey number that he wore for his career, like the way the number was fonted,
Right.
and you look at what the banner was, it's different. I don't know. I wonder if they're doing that because they just want to keep it modern with what the Sharks are wearing currently.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they decided that, but I'm gonna. See, to me, this where is it? Because it's basically that, right?
It's different than that,
But pretty similar, right?
pretty similar. Yeah.
But I feel like they should have gone this one.
Oh, really?
I think that one, because that's when he was. Yeah, I fucked that up.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like that would have been more representative of his time as a Shark.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you watched the Sharks way earlier than I did, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, happy for the man. He seemed like he was having a good time. He looked like he was having drinks.
Yeah.
He was in a press box, obviously.
Yeah. I thought I agree with you. I thought the whole thing was very well done.
The second player who should have a number retired by the Sharks is
Joe Thornton.
Joe Thornton.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joe was there. All teary-eyed,
Oh, yeah.
misty-eyed.
You could say Joe might be able to have a statue too in front of the tank.
I mean,
If they're building statues, they're building two for those guys.
right.
One for those, or
So,
one each.
I feel like there's a couple ways to look at this. Like, obviously, Patrick Marleau is Mr. Shark, but Joe Thornton is probably the best player to ever play for the Sharks.
Okay.
Because, I mean, he won an MVP for the Sharks in his first season.
Okay.
And was the guy for quite a while. But yeah, no, I think he is next for sure. He needs to officially retire because he hasn't done that.
He hasn't?
No. But yeah, he's not playing for a team this year. Apparently, he still, like, skates with the Sharks, like, during practice days on occasion.
So you're saying if they're building a statue in front of the tank, and let me say, Shark Tank the show should sponsor the Shark Tank because everyone calls it the tank.
That would be sweet.
Anyways, are you saying that Joe Thornton should have a statue before Patrick Marleau?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Gotcha.
I think Marlowe's number one for sure, but just different way of looking at it. That I think Thornton definitely is the best player that's ever played for the Sharks. He just didn't play his majority of his career with the Sharks, or he did, but not the same percentage.
And then they should make a statue of a block of Swiss cheese for Martin Jones.
You know, I know we love to trash Martin Jones because he did really fall off, but he's the only goalie in Sharks history to take them to a Stanley Cup final.
Well, it's funny to me because we always talk shit about him.
Yeah.
But if that guy would have helped us win the cup, you and Garrett...
Oh, yeah, we wouldn't care.
You guys would have jerseys. Martin Jones jerseys.
I remember Garrett saying, if he takes us to a cup, I'm getting a Jones jersey.
Did he?
But he did. I remember him saying that.
But, okay, because we were... No, we were
But then he obviously never happened.
We weren't really friends with Garrett, though, when the Sharks went to the cup.
Not then. I'm just saying, I think he said that, like, in the years following.
Yeah. Got you. You know how Garrett is with his jerseys.
Yeah. Trivia. What number did Patrick Marleau wear in his first, like, year or two?
I think I...
Actually, it might even been like 3 or 4 years.
I'm going to say it was...
It's in the teens, I'll give you a hint.
16?
14.
14.
Yeah.
I saw a picture recently of him wearing a different jersey.
Yeah.
And I wonder if somebody else was wearing 12 and he had to wait.
I believe that is what the case was.
Well, that's like Matt Cain. Didn't he wear like 46 or something?
I think it was 43.
43 before he
Changed to 18.
changed to 18, yeah.
I like 18, by the way. I think 18 is a nice
like
clean
18.
number.
Hey. I think 18, you think of Peyton.
Yeah, true.
You do.
It's a quarterback number. I mean, it's like one of the bigger ones. But
It's not 12. Like, quarterback numbers to me,
12. Yeah.
12 is like the number.
Right. I feel like 8's pretty good, too.
I like 8.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little biased because of Troy Aikman, but,
You know.
and Daniel Dimes, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Trent Dilfer,
I'm trying to think of any other 8s. Lamar.
Lamar.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about both
Hey,
those guys
dude,
later.
Steve Young.
Steve, well, I was thinking about current.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Forget about your boy Steve Young.
No,
like that.
of course not. Other Sharks news, they traded star winger Timo Meier to the New Jersey Devils at the trade deadline. He was the 9th overall pick by the Sharks back in 2015.
That video you sent us of that Sharks fan.
That was pretty good. We traded Timo Meier for a sheet of ice and 4 free tacos? What the fuck are we doing?
I looked at the comments too, and people were dragging that guy. They're like, "This guy doesn't know what he's talking about."
I mean, yeah, I don't blame the Sharks whatsoever for making the trade.
It's very funny.
It is hilarious.
It's very funny.
Yeah, but that guy's definitely a casual.
Also, Kirk Cousins, number 8.
Sick. Timo scored 154 goals in 451 games as a Shark, 3 30-goal seasons. He is now with the Devils, of course, but 4 goals away from setting a new single-season high, which would be 36. So, it's tough to lose a guy of his abilities because the Sharks don't have many talented players at this moment.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of time to start the rebuild. And they already sort of have, but this is continuing that.
How many wins the Sharks have? Like 18?
They're very close to being worst record in the league right now.
Wow.
Which I'm not mad at.
How much are tickets going for Sharks games right now?
More than they should be. That's all I'm going to say.
That's not ideal.
No. But yeah, I mean, give us that first pick. So if you finish in the bottom 3 in the NHL, all 3 of those teams have the same opportunity to win the lottery for the first pick in the draft.
I'm just going to say this right now.
So just be in that bottom 3.
If and when we go to the Sharks game next week, and the Sharks happen to win in this season, you are a prodigy when it comes to you going to Sharks games. They're going to need to start contacting you at this point.
Yeah.
We made jokes, but if they win...
I mean, they call me all the time, like, hey, we got a ticket package for you if you want.
You're like, I'm not.
They don't know I'm undefeated, though.
No, they don't.
They just like me.
You're like, dude, I live in Napa. I'm not going to commute. I'm not going to San Jose every
Yeah, you're going to give me a hotel every time I come down for free?
Yeah. Can I sleep at the tank?
Yeah. I know there's a box with a bed in there.
That's what Marlo had to do probably after having 2 drinks last week. Come on.
Yeah, I think Christina Marlowe was like, come on, Daddy, chill.
She probably calls him Pat.
Yeah, Pat. Patricio.
Come on, Pat.
Speaking of Patrick's, Chicago Blackhawks legend Patrick Kane is no longer a member of the team. He was traded to the New York Rangers at the trade deadline. Former first overall pick, one of the best U.S.-born players of all time. Played in his entire 16-year career with Chicago.
These hockey guys can
Yeah.
just play the sport forever.
Well, the funny thing is, okay, he's played 16 years, but he's only 35. So they start when they're 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon.
3-time champion, right?
3-time Cup champion. He's only 54 goals away from 500. I actually didn't know he was that close, but I think that just kind of confirms that he's one of the best Americans of all time.
And future Hall of Famer?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. He's going to be free agent this summer, so it's kind of, Chicago's been pretty bad for a while, so.
Sharks?
No. Sharks don't have the cap space for that. And no reason to spend stupid money on old guys again.
Yeah.
I already have plenty of those.
We already had one guy named Kane, and it didn't work out well. So we don't.
Good point.
We don't need to. We don't
Very
need
good
to.
point. I'm glad he's not on the fucking team anymore. So, there is some potential NHL history that could happen this year. Some of it's not all-time history, but it's history nonetheless. One of those being Sharks defenseman Erik Karlsson, who's having an unreal season offensively. I know it sounds stupid, defenseman, but offensively. So, for those of you who forget what points are or don't know what points are in hockey, as far as the statistic goes, it's your goals plus your assists equals points.
Okay.
So if you have 20 goals and 20 assists, you have 40 points.
Gotcha.
So Erik Karlsson's looking to be the first 100-point scoring defenseman since 1991-92 when Brian Leetch did it. So that's over 30 years. He's already got 82 points. The Sharks are playing right now, actually, I believe, or played earlier. So I don't know what happened today.
I saw they were down 2-1 at one point to the Blues, right?
Okay, yeah, that's who they're playing. That's right. So 82 points in 65 games. 82 ties his career high already, and there's still 17 games left. So he's on pace for 103 points. It would be pretty cool if he pulled that off.
Absolutely.
Also, he was a trade candidate at the deadline, and they decided to hold on to him.
How old is Erik Karlsson?
He is 32, so still like kind of near the end of his prime, you could argue.
I'd fuck with the Karlsson jersey, I think. What number is he? 62?
65.
65. No.
It's a very much a hockey number. Yeah. Very much a European hockey number.
Not great.
Like Malkin for the
Like 73.
71 for the Penguins. There's some other good ones out there. Yager wore 68. That's pretty foul.
Terrible. Terrible.
I don't know how they come up with those fucking numbers.
No either.
Another guy looking to set some big point numbers. Of course, Connor McJesus, as we like to call him these days. The Oilers forward is on a tear in his last 8 games. He's got 22 points, which is ridiculous. 12 goals included. He's got a career-high 54 goals already and 124 points this season with still 17 games left.
Wow.
On pace for 68 goals and 156 points, which would be the most since Mario Lemieux, legend, did 69 goals and 161 points in 96.
Wow.
So, yeah, he's not doing what Gretzky and Lemieux did necessarily in their prime, but he's pretty high up there.
Trying his best.
Yeah, he's doing some ridiculous
Trying
things.
his damn best.
Yeah, the 65 goals by Ovechkin in LA, and Kucherov's 128 points in 19 are the current most since that time. So he's definitely gonna blow by Kucherov, but the 65 goals is gonna be an interesting one to look at.
Man, Connor McDavid, it's just...
He's ridiculous, dude.
I mean, I'm not much of a hockey guy. I mean, I try to be as much as I can. But Connor McDavid coming in to the draft, whenever he got drafted, was he
Oh yeah,
looked at as like the next...
franchise player for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to
like a LeBron James type, maybe?
a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to project this type of production, of course, but he was definitely highly touted. Now, the number one prospect coming into this year is putting up similar numbers to what he did in junior hockey.
So you're saying Sharks tank?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you caught on to what me and Garrett were talking about on one of our group chats recently, but I said something along the lines of the NHL will never let the Sharks get this guy.
Oh.
But hey, if somehow we get the first pick, might be Jersey Day.
Wait, you're going to get the jersey of the guy? Oh, stop. Stop. That's
Hey.
outrageous.
If he turns into
If I'm getting a Sharks jersey, I'm going full-blown, fucking... What's the word I'm looking for?
he's got to be like a seven.
Bandwagon.
Oh,
Full-on bandwagon. I'm going Marlowe. I got to get a
Oh,
Marlowe.
that'd be cool. Yeah, I wouldn't.
There's 1,000 of them in the stadium. I'm getting a Marlowe.
I wouldn't knock that.
Because you know why? Never gets old.
And never. Yeah, he'll
Never get old.
It's timeless. Also, this kid's name is Connor. So
What's the last name?
Bedard.
Bedard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as he wears a good number.
Depends on the number.
Yeah.
It depends
Sure.
on the number. You know what jersey I love is the one Danny has, the Thornton one.
That's a pretty good one.
I just like how the number has the outline of the orange.
You know, I'm not a fan of that actually.
Oof.
I like the one.
We differ on that.
Yeah, I like the one in the era just after that.
It doesn't really make any sense for the Sharks and their colors, but I like it.
Well, it's the color of the stick in the logo.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right here too in the triangle, I guess.
Right.
But I've always liked that jersey.
Well, I don't. The yellowy orange whatever doesn't bother me too much. There's just too many different. There's like hella stripes on it that I don't love.
Yeah. You want a brewski? You good?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
I'm ready. Unless you want that C-, I'll take this C.
Do you want C minus?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not want it.
I figured out. Mountains are blue today, baby.
Okay. Pints. These are still rocking, huh? How many more of these you got left?
Well, it's funny. I took them to go golfing, and then I show up, and Dylan's like, "Oh, we got 24 beers in the fucking car already, and fireball shots." I think there's like 2 or 3 more left in the fridge.
Is this from a couple weeks ago when you went golfing? Or did you go again recently?
No, it was from the rainy day.
Oh, yeah.
Last but not least, in hockey, is that good? Is it hidden?
Yeah.
The beer?
It's fucking, it's a pint. The pints are great.
These are special. I feel like we say that every time we drink them, but that's how good they are.
Yeah, exactly. Kings up by 20. by the way.
Let's go. So the Boston Bruins are on a record pace right now.
Dude, these guys are...
Coming into tonight, 49 wins, 8 losses, 5 overtime losses, for a grand total of 103 points.
They're looking like the Warriors in 2016. In basketball terms.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, because they are on pace to set the record for wins in a season, which would be 65. Mm-hmm. Or the record is 62. They're on pace for 65 and 136 points, and the record is 132.
So you tell me they're on pace. They had the greatest team season of all time.
Yes.
By far.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. They'd eclipse it.
Wow.
Now, after I've said all this about Connor McDavid, who plays for the Oilers and the Boston Bruins, the Oilers played the Bruins today. Oilers won. Wow. They beat the Bruins.
Oh, okay.
In Boston, no less. And Connor McDavid has 0 points. So just all those paces I said, just put it back just a little bit.
You jinxed it.
I totally did.
So the Bruins after that loss are 49-8.
They're 49-9.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I left all these numbers for
Gotcha.
pre.
That's hilarious.
Right.
That worked out really well for you. I'm happy for you.
I know.
Really
I mean, it was also ironic that they hadn't been playing today.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, we could be seeing some history this year.
Hell yeah.
Look out for it.
Boston sports fans did.
Yeah.
They have it made. They've had it made since just gonna say 2000, just to cut it off right there, make it nice and clean.
I will say though, teams that put a big time regular season in recent NHL history do not win the same league.
Lightning
Yep. Choked it.
choked it.
Florida Panthers.
They got swept. Lightning, right?
Yeah.
They get swept.
They
in the
got
first
swept by
round.
the 8th seed. Yeah. After a 128-point season. Last year, Florida had like 120 something. Lost in the second round. No.
What happened to the Warriors in 2016 again?
Different sport. That's all I'm going to say to
What
that.
happened to the Mariners?
Out in the first round.
What happened to the Patriots?
Lost in the Super Bowl.
I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl, but yeah. Doesn't mean a thing without the ring.
Right. So really quick PSG news.
So before you even mention this, actually, no, go for it. No, you go.
You sure?
Yeah. Say what you had to say. Please.
Very, very disappointing day yesterday. I don't know if you tuned in at all on like lunch break or at all, but
I was getting my
messages.
messages from you and Devin, yes, and Sal.
Eliminated from Champions League by Bayern Munich. They lost 2-0 yesterday, 3-0 on
Dude.
aggregate.
Fuck Bayern Munich, dude. Fuck them.
Yeah, I can't remember who they got eliminated by 2 years ago, but I know they lost 3 years ago in the final to Bayern.
Damn, they have their number.
So, but it's just the typical, and you know, I'm not gonna pretend I've been watching soccer closely for a long time, but PSG is considered the team that just gets thrown together. It's a bunch of good players that just get thrown on a field together. Bayern Munich's, you know, maybe not all the best superstars, but they play
They play
cohesive soccer.
Yes.
You know, unlike PSG, and that's pretty much what you saw in these two games. Also, Neymar done for the year. Ankle surgery. Got hurt a couple weeks ago.
We saw him play live though.
We did see him.
Ooh, that's a flex for me. I know he's a bitch, but we saw him play live. To me, that's really cool.
I do think it's a very decent chance he's not a part of the team next year. I mean, we'll see how this injury situation goes, but and he does have a contract left. But
A couple things with PSG, real quick.
got some beef.
Maybe the second thing I'm going to say has a little bit of beef in it, but so it's kind of looking like Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar as a trio. They're probably not going to play together ever again like that.
It's very possible.
So it's really cool that we saw that with our own eyes, literally there.
Yeah.
We were there. Boom. Shout out to the fans. Also, you know, I put this in perspective, probably, you know, yesterday, maybe today, that we literally went from California to Paris just to see a soccer game, essentially.
That's what the trip was based around.
To see a soccer game.
Yeah.
And they didn't even score a fucking goal.
Well, I guess that is one thing that maybe this might be what you're going to say, but just you can't. There's nothing guaranteed with soccer as far as scoring.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But you see the people at concerts or sporting events hold up the signs that say, "I came here from
Blah blah blah. Yeah.
blah 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 to see
Yeah.
my team play." That was us, but we weren't showing it off.
Right.
Like if someone were to ask us, "Oh, where are you guys from? Why are you guys here? Why are you guys Americans? Why are you here?"
Right.
Or we're from California because we have a podcast and
Yeah.
people voted us to have this team. You know, it's crazy. But that's literally why we were there. That was that's the reason.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. No doubt.
I just
It is funny to think about.
it's a long trip. It's like just yeah.
Well, in explaining why I root for PSG to people that have no idea is kind of funny too. Because you get the first part, we're like, oh, you have a podcast? That's cool. And then you're like, so how do you land on PSG?
Like I haven't even gone to a Cowboys game in Texas.
Right.
And I rooted for the Cowboys since I was 5. You know what I mean?
That is.
Like, I'm trying to go see them play in Santa Clara this year.
Right.
And that's even shorter.
Right.
It hasn't happened yet, though. So, just the fact that we're able to, we went from here to there, saw them play there, and then we came back.
Right. It is cool.
It's really cool. It's amazing that we were able to actually have gotten that done.
Well, now you can say that, nothing else is insurmountable.
Yeah, right? I think we did that.
Right.
We did that.
Nothing that you want to do, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Daytona, dude, we could do it.
Right.
You know?
Like, is it a commitment still?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
But it's a less of a commitment than what we already did.
Yeah. So, I thought that was. It's just a big, full or big picture type
Right.
thing for me.
No doubt. So no more playoffs to think about for PSG this year. Just looking for the League One title, going for their 11th overall. I think this will be, if they get it, 9th in the last 11 years. So I mean, you got to think about it. A lot of their success has happened in the last decade or so. They are 8 points ahead of second place Marseille, who they beat recently, which was huge. With 12 games left, they resume league play on Saturday against Brest. Also, one little Mbappe tidbit: he set the all-time PSG goal-scoring record with 200. His 201st goal, passing Edinson Cavani. It's kind of cool.
You tell me Edison Cavani had 200 on the dot.
I know, right?
That's kind of cool.
It's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
And that guy played for a lot of other clubs too, so he had a good run with PSG.
Nice. So one thing I gotta say, which came to my attention a few nights ago, Emerson Hipp on May 23rd, 2022 said PSG wins Champions League this year. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
You thought, if I didn't look at my bold predictions, I wouldn't even.
No, I remember that. I forgot about it a little bit, but I do remember doing that.
So we're gonna take a shot anyways because it's been 2 weeks. We missed each other. We missed you guys listening and watching.
We have way too many of those.
So
What do you want?
I'm taking it off. I don't know.
Should we just crush a couple Tanquerays?
Is that gin?
Mm-hmm. You're like, maybe let me look. I think I'll probably do the captain if
What was this? I'll do the. Is there a crown apple in here?
there's a captain apple. You can have that one.
I'll take the captain.
That one's actually not bad. I'm gonna do regular captain.
But you actually remember you said this.
I do. I'll pay for it.
That's great.
I don't want to do it right now though. Is that okay? Just keep it there.
You also said
Just make it bold.
you said the Giants are gonna win the World Series.
No, let's
I couldn't even say that without laughing.
let's pretend that didn't. Wait, what did I say? Giants are gonna go.
Gonna go. Sorry,
yeah.
go.
I was like, I said they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember they're winning 107 again this year.
No, I took the PSG one off. It's you're paying for it right now.
Okay, yeah.
Clear the sinuses.
Because I will say that not every missed bold prediction has to be like truly paid for. Because obviously you're taking a shot when you do it, right? But if you're way wrong, like I was fairly wrong.
I wasn't gonna make you pay for this one, but since we're gonna take a shot anyways, I'll just make it.
Make it part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers. It's been too long.
Oh, yowza. That's not bad. How's that?
I don't shoot rum very often. I'll tell you that much.
Captain Morgan, like regular Captain Morgan, rough.
I don't know how. Like,
How we shot that back in the day.
I just don't know why people like that shit. It's gross.
It's good. With,
I know it's sweet.
It's
but-
good with Coke,
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
It kind of has that like. It makes it taste like Dr Pepper a little bit. Speaking of Dr Pepper.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Shall we move?
I got a lot of bold predictions.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later. Not too bad. The Blake Wells one's pretty bad.
Have you not?
I think
Fessed up
I
yet?
think we talked about it, but we're gonna wait.
Okay.
I think we're gonna wait on that one. We're gonna wait.
You know what? Let's see if the Titans move on from Tannehill and Malik Willis starts Week 1 next year. I'll let you off the hook on that.
Okay.
Do you want to like put that in your notes?
Yeah. So I'll put week 1. Week 1.
You don't get to celebrate it as a victory, but
Week 1 of 2023.
I doubt that's going to be the case because he was pretty fucking bad last year.
I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay.
But you're taking a shot if he's not starting week 1.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Just not now because I already take a shot.
Right.
I'm already feeling saucy, so let's go. On to the NFL, Derek Carr signing with the Saints, which you made fun of me for mentioning weeks ago. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
For 4 years, $150 million. Good for Derek Carr. Do you think it has anything to do with religion because he's a man of God and he wants to be a saint?
I was not thinking that, no.
You know me.
Mm-hmm. I just thought it was weird that he didn't want to. Well, there's a couple ways to look at it. I just figured he would be like, okay, I'll do the Raiders a favor and let them actually get some compensation for me. Mm-hmm. But I think in reality, he wanted to really test out his other options. Because I don't think any other team was actually willing to trade for him. I thought that the Jets were actually perfect for him, and maybe even the Panthers. But obviously the Jets are looking at Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, the Saints are going to be better with him than they were with anyone they've had since Drew Brees. So I think it's a lot of money when you look at it, but I guess that's what quarterbacks go for these days.
Yeah. I'm happy for him. I think he's going to look good in that jersey. I like Saints jerseys. They're clean.
They're nice.
They're nice.
And it's going to be a good transition from the black and silver to the black and gold.
Do you think he'll wear number 4?
I would hope so. I don't know
Does
if
anybody
that's-
else on the team have number
I was
4?
just thinking that after I said yeah, but I would think so.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good fit. I don't see the Saints as being a Super Bowl contender with him, but I think it makes sense overall.
I think it makes sense because the Saints, or that division is so bad, unless the Panthers somehow get Aaron Rodgers, because I've been told they have a good team, and if Rodgers goes there, it's kind of like a Brady-Tampa situation,
Right.
possibly. It seems like Derek Carr could win the division with the Saints. And
I think any team out of that division that took on Derek Carr would probably be the best team just off that alone.
Okay.
With other things to be sorted out in the meantime, but
So would you say the Saints are going to make the playoffs with Derek Carr next year?
I like them as of this moment to win the division. But that's just how bad
I would say the same.
like 9-10 wins maybe.
I would say the same.
Yeah. And I do feel bad that Derek Carr has been, we know a lot of Raider fans, and some of them really hate Derek Carr, and they're just over him. And I get it. Sometimes you get a little stale. But he's not as bad as probably they think he was.
He was better than what they had before. What was that, Terrell Pryor?
He's
Matt McGloin?
he's the best quarterback they've had since Rich Gannon. pretty much.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Aside from, for sure. It for sure is. Because who else?
Did they have anybody else there?
I mean, Carson Palmer had a decent little stint, but very short.
No, he is the best
He's the
quarterback
best.
they've had since Rich Gannon.
Right.
Since they went to the Super Bowl, he's the best quarterback they've had.
Uh-huh.
So Raider fans like to bitch. They've always liked to bitch. Sorry, is it an Oakland fan thing?
I think it's an arrogance thing, yeah, for sure.
Sorry. Is what it is. Happy for Derek Carr. We'll see how he does.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll draft him in my fantasy football draft next year. Geno Smith is re-signing with the Seahawks for 3 years, $75 million plus $30 million in incentives.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't see why they wouldn't do this after the year he had last year. Now, was he amazing? No, but was he much better than you could have asked for? Yeah, I believe so.
I know he had a great year, comeback player of the year, playoffs. I'm stuck in between, I get why you're keeping him, but could you draft, because they have a high draft pick this year, don't they?
Yeah, because they have Denver's pick, right? Yeah.
So you could maybe get like C.J. Stroud, probably not Bryce Young.
I'm starting to think that C.J. Stroud's going to get picked first.
You think so?
Yeah, I really do. The Bears probably trade out of that pick, and he gets taken number 1.
Like, if I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm a realist, Geno Smith is not the long-term answer because of his age.
No,
mostly because of his age.
Right.
If I'm a Seahawks fan, I am not stoked about this pick. Unless they can also get a quarterback to sit behind Geno, which Pete Carroll's not going to do because he's a defensive guy. It's not going to happen.
Well, here's something that might happen. Is maybe because I think they have 2 first-round picks, their own, of course, and then Denver's, right?
Yeah.
So those picks will be win now type picks, and then maybe somewhere later in the draft they'll go for a value quarterback type pick, but like a guy that's
Like later on in the draft.
yeah
Later on in this draft.
mid rounds, early mid rounds.
Yeah, I mean Pete Carroll did hit with Russell Wilson, obviously.
Right.
In what, the third round? I
Third
think
round,
Russell Wilson was.
The other thing too is, I think the Seahawks, they weren't going to be able to sign him for just 1 year, but you have to see if he can replicate that again because he did have a very nice season.
No, and I'm a Geno Smith guy. He helped my team make it to the championship of fantasy football.
That's right.
He really did. Off waivers,
Yeah.
shout out.
Yeah.
But I just, and you have to have somebody who can play the position
Right.
on your team. You have to. But is anybody saying, even who roots for the Seahawks, even the most diehard Seahawks fans saying, Geno Smith can win us a Super Bowl? No, nobody's. I don't think anybody is saying that.
No.
I don't even think if you put Pete Carroll to a lie detector test, he's gonna say yes, Geno Smith can win us a Super Bowl. He's not saying that.
But
That's what I have issues with this because he's not gonna win a Super Bowl. He's not.
I think the reality though that you have to think about is that there's probably only like,
3 guys.
well, I would say less than 10 guys that are on their team where the team actually thinks that person could win a Super Bowl at some point. Maybe it's not this coming
No,
year
I get it.
or even next year, but so and this isn't the best quarterback class by any means. It's kind of underwhelming. So maybe the Seahawks are just looking to the future.
I see what you mean. I guess I'm just looking through the lens of being an owner or a GM and thinking like we have to try our best, and you can't spend your picks every pick on a quarterback,
No.
hoping to hit. But you have to. You got to keep trying for quarterbacks. Like draft quarterback every year, maybe high, because that's the most important position.
Yeah.
Unless you're Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson.
But that's
Nick
the thing
Foles.
that's the thing of the past. I mean, Nick Foles is a little bit of an outlier, but you're not seeing teams win Super Bowls with nobodies anymore.
No.
You got to be.
And I guess Russell Wilson was kind of a nobody up to
yeah.
that point.
I mean, I think he gained some traction by winning the job as a rookie, and then because it was the second year that they won the Super Bowl, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was semi-established.
But I am happy nonetheless for Geno Smith. I really am.
I think a year in this contract, and I think 3 years is about right. Like if they did what we're about to talk about with
Yeah.
Daniel Jones with to Geno, I think that would be a mistake. But and $25 million a year for a quarterback is actually a really good deal. So you can build a team around him.
Yeah.
And then if you decide that he's not the guy, then you try something else.
So like you said, Daniel Jones, the Giants are extending him for 4 years, $160 million plus $35 million incentives. Excuse me, dude. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I'm happy about this. If you're an
You
Eagle,
should be.
hey, Cowboys fans, Eagles fans, Commanders fans should all be happy about this right here. You're telling me this guy beats what you would think, what you said was the fraudulent Vikings in the playoffs, and you're going to extend them? I don't get it.
At
I
this
do
number,
not understand this.
at this number, if I was playing Madden franchise mode, I'm looking for a free agent over this guy. I'm sorry. Or I'm going to the draft.
Try to get Lamar Jackson or something. I don't know.
Shit. I mean, if Lamar Jackson's asking for only this much money, he's absolutely the guy you want.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think everyone in that division's like, okay, well, we can sign, unless Daniel Jones takes some strides that we're not prepared for, in progression. I think the Giants have signed their ticket to be irrelevant for the next 4 years.
They signed their ticket to being, at the worst, third in the division for the next couple of years. Standings wise.
At the worst or best?
At the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think the Cowboys can. I think the Eagles are going to own the division for a couple of years. I hate to say it, I really do, but I think they will. I think the Cowboys can be second and the Giants third.
Well, to say that the Eagles or the Giants could finish 10-7, and maybe the Eagles or Cowboys drop back in one of these 4 years. That's not crazy, but still, we're not talking about a Super Bowl contending team at that point.
No.
Yeah.
Brian Daboll, I get that he helped Josh Allen kind of be who he is today. But no one's saying that Josh Allen is Daniel Jones, unless Brian Daboll thinks or has that much of an ego
Thinks he can do anything.
that he
with
can
anyone.
do anything.
Right.
No, it's
That's what's confusing to me is because I would think as a guy who has the offensive coaching pedigree like Dable has built up over the last handful of years, you'd want someone that's a little more standout than Daniel Jones to be your conductor at quarterback.
but maybe they're doing the same thing with this, like what we're talking about with the Seahawks. Is that
I think the difference though is that Daniel Jones threw 15 touchdown passes.
Yes,
last
he
year.
did. I'm glad you said that. Yes, he threw 15 touchdowns.
We're not talking about a guy who had a good year. We're talking about a guy who was on a team that won more games than we thought they would.
Oh, but he still won a playoff game. To me, that is a good season. That's a good season.
That's fine. That's fine.
I guess on the stat sheet, it's not great, but he still won a playoff game.
I think too
Right?
though.
Right?
Sure, he showed some ability to scramble, but the eye test is still not saying, "Give me Daniel Jones on Sundays."
Wow.
Jalen Brunson out, bummer.
But I know what you mean. Like, to me, I've said before, when he's in the like, he just reminds me of Frankenstein when he's out there.
He's a little goofy.
Kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Kind of goofy, but,
Ugh. Just tasted that.
Did you?
It's got that like maple syrup taste.
The Captain Morgan.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But, hey, Daniel Jones, congrats.
I just cannot believe we're talking about $40 million a year for Daniel Jones.
I don't see it. I don't.
Even if you
I
give
don't.
him,
I don't get it. I don't understand
yeah.
it.
Even if you gave him $25 million, I feel like that would be a lot. But I would be like, okay, that's the quarterback market. Sure, whatever. But $40 million? That's a joke. Really is a joke.
Yeah. We're gonna get to. I'm gonna. Yeah. Lamar. Like, you're telling me they're not paying Lamar, but these guys are paying.
I think something funny is going to happen in Lamar's situation, and you're right. We're going to get to that.
So, and also, Saquon Barkley has been franchise tagged, negotiating possible extension.
I think that sounds about right.
Saquon's nice.
Yeah,
Saquon's
hit
nice.
a really nice year. Bounced back from the injury.
But we know how it is with running backs.
Right. But he's still like right in the middle of his prime. Because I think he's going to be 27 this coming year.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
And speaking of running backs, Titans are reportedly shopping Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's heading into his age 29 season, coming off another 1,500 yard season, not 1,500 yard season.
15 yards.
Cowboys, call Derrick Henry now.
No.
Yes.
That's a terrible idea.
No, it's not. Because we
Terrible
would
idea.
actually beat the Niners in the playoffs next year if that happened. But you know what? The Cowboys don't want to prosper, so they're not going to do that. They're going to keep Zeke again, even though they franchise tag Pollard. They are not. It's just
Derrick Henry would go to the Cowboys and have his worst year he's had
shut the fuck up.
in like 6 years.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
I feel like the downfall for him is inevitable at some point. Maybe he has another good year, but he feels like one of those guys that's indestructible. But I don't know. These running backs don't last forever.
No, they don't. Jerry Jones, did you hear that? They don't last forever.
Yeah.
Let them go early.
And also, he's led the NFL in carries 3 of the last 4 years, and the 1 year he didn't is because he only played 8 games, which he probably would have led the league.
That's just how it is. For the Titans, they believe in. That's what they believe in.
Well, they're trying to. The Titans are going into probably a rebuild, if we're being honest. They're giving the reins to the Jaguars. It's their division right now. You got to be realistic.
Your boy Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, they've got some cap issues, so it's time to reload.
And going back to, fucking who was it? Geno Smith. Like Tannehill is your quarterback. You can't buy into it. You can't.
Right. I mean,
you can't buy into it.
The thing is,
if I'm a fan, it's like, yeah, we're good. We're making it to we're making the playoffs.
Right.
This and that.
But Tannehill showed year in and year out that he wasn't worthy. Geno only got 1 year to really show what he could do with his Jacks. That's the difference.
I
for
can't
me.
trust a quarterback on the team that I root for that was a wide receiver in college at Texas A&M. I cannot get. You're telling me you haven't played quarterback since you were 5?
Right.
Like, no, I can't. I can't get on the board with that. Doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. I mean, he's a great athlete.
He had his moments, but you're right. He clearly showed that he could not do it in crunch time, in prime time.
Exactly. So Ravens Lamar Jackson.
This is juicy.
Ravens have given Lamar Jackson a non-exclusive franchise tag worth $32.4 million. And do you understand what this means more than I do? Can you explain this a little more?
Yeah. So there's 2 different franchise tags you can offer. Usually this comes into play more with the quarterbacks than anything because they're the most valuable players. But so if they offered him the exclusive franchise tag, he would get $45 million-ish, and he would be a Raven next year, no matter what.
Yeah.
This non-exclusive deal or franchise tag will give him $32 million if he stays with the Ravens this year. But it allows teams to negotiate with him on a contract to sign with them potentially. And if he does agree with said team, the Ravens can opt to try and match that contract to keep him, or they can get 2 first-round picks from that team in exchange and let him go.
You know that very well. I would
yeah.
not have been able to say that.
I've read a lot about this and watched some NFL Live and all that. It's just I think this is exactly what they should have done, because as much as this seems weird and fishy that he's not getting a big contract, I think it's just kind of punishing him for being ignorant and not getting a fucking real agent. I think this is the biggest thing for him, is he should have had an agent, because if he did, he'd have a contract with the Ravens.
And that's what you think.
I really believe that would be the case.
But don't you think if he had an agent, he would have told them what he really wants, and they would have done the same thing that he thinks and would have done himself?
Agents are, as much as they are the guys who do the negotiating, they're also advisors at the same time. They probably would have said, Lamar, you need to take this deal.
Okay.
Like, this is
No,
as good
yeah,
as you
I see
can
what you mean. You know what I mean, too?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, for sure.
Like, Lamar could have hired an agent and said, I don't want anything but this, and if you can't do that for me, then I don't want you as my agent. And any agent who has a player of that magnitude, they're going to try their best not to let him go.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say. But I do know what you mean, too.
Yeah. But I think they know, agents that work in the NFL know how it works.
Yes.
And he doesn't. And neither does his mom. I mean, I'm sure his mom's a lovely person, but she doesn't know how the NFL and their budgeting works. So.
Well, because everyone, when they talk about this, talks about Deshaun Watson.
Right.
And they think that the Deshaun Watson contract is the reason why Lamar wants this.
Right.
And it could be. And I think, I don't know. I don't think Lamar's ever said that.
Well, and that's why the Browns are the worst franchise in the NFL. They ruined the market for players, and they gave a scumbag a contract that he didn't deserve.
Listen, he's a scumbag. I am not going to deny that. But do you think Deshaun Watson could win a Super Bowl for a team? Going back to Geno Smith and Daniel Jones.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Browns...
He also was fucking terrible last year.
Well, he played like half the year.
Less.
They probably think, you know what, we know how this guy can play based off his past. He played on the Texans. They were shit.
Yeah.
Or they made the playoffs. Or did they make the playoffs? Yes, no, maybe so.
Not his last year, but they did when he was there.
But they think this guy could do it for us. So they went for it, and I do respect them for that, but I do think he is a piece of shit, no doubt.
Yeah, I think the Browns deserve a lot of shit for what they've done. And they've made Lamar believe that he's worth something that maybe he's really not. Because do you think Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback in the league?
No, but do I think if he went to the Niners tomorrow that the Niners would be the favorites? 1,000%. I think you guys will win the Super Bowl if you can stay healthy.
Maybe.
Would you rather have Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson?
Oh, Lamar. Of course.
Trey Lance, Lamar.
Lamar.
There we go.
But that doesn't mean they're going to win the Super Bowl.
No, but I mean, could you imagine Lamar Jackson and Chris McCaffrey on the same fucking team?
It'd be great. It'd be
Dude,
amazing.
that'd be nightmare fuel for the whole league. Are you kidding me?
It would be
And
amazing
yeah,
to watch.
and the Niners are a great team. I know what you mean because
Yeah.
it's all that.
But we've seen some of really amazing Ravens teams with Lamar Jackson come up short.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. Right to the buzzer.
Yeah, that was probably the closest we've been in a while.
So yeah, no, I think the whole situation that's weird revolving around this is that quarterback needy teams like the Falcons, Panthers, and Commanders have all reportedly said they're not interested in pursuing it,
Thank you, Commanders. I appreciate that.
which is very odd. Now, I think that they're weighing, like, is it worth how much you're going to have to give him plus giving up 2 first-round picks?
Yeah.
Is that really worth pursuing? But to say that you're out before you can even actually negotiate with them, I think is a little weird. What say you?
I've just heard a lot of the word collusion being thrown around with this. You know, I'm not really sure exactly what that means. I kind of have an idea.
Yeah. Well, it just means that anyone who says collusion thinks that teams are saying this guy wants way too much. We're gonna just we're gonna try and lowball the hell out of him,
Yeah.
make him think he's not worth what he thinks he is.
Like, I think, personally, as a fan of the Cowboys should get Lamar Jackson. Do whatever you have to do. Do whatever you have to do because you would be the best quarterback that the Cowboys have had since Troy Aikman. 1,000%, not even close. You could even wear number 8. I don't give a fuck. I bet you Troy Aikman would even let him wear number 8. I bet you he would.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Jerry would be like, yeah, son, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's different. But it's just, you got to pay this man. This man is good. I know he has had his injury history. But Lamar Jackson has lost, I believe, in his regular season career, maybe combined, 16 games.
Yeah, he's something like 49 and 16 or something like that.
It's unbelievable.
No,
I think Patrick Mahomes has lost 16 games in his career.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's won more Super Bowls, and that's a different conversation. But I'm talking win-loss. The man's lost 16 games in his career when it comes to, I believe, the regular season. Or
Yeah.
both.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly. But
It's an outrageous
you're
number.
you're in the right ballpark for sure.
I believe it's, I think Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Roger Staubach, and Lamar Jackson is the 1 through 4 when it comes to win-loss percentage
Yeah.
in a career. So, the man can win you games when he's out there.
Does the fact that he's missed the last 5 to 6 games each of the last 2 seasons concern you at all?
Yes, it does.
And the fact that he is probably not a great passer. He's capable, but, a middle of the range thrower of the football.
So you're trying to say the more that he runs it, the more he can get injured, which means he's not going to be able to be out there.
If you just look at...
Because if he can't throw it well, it means he's going to run it, which means he can get injured, be more prone to injury.
Well, I think the reality is that you can't... Well, the Ravens have been shut down by defenses in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Because
they know how to... Yeah, okay. They know how to play him.
So if he can't become a better passer than he has been, are you thinking that you're going to acquire this guy and he's just all of a sudden going to become a Super Bowl caliber quarterback? Because he hasn't proven to be that
No, he hasn't.
on some very good teams. Now, he's been a part of the reason that they're very good because of all of his other attributes, but we've seen the Ravens come up short
Yes.
with him, and a good amount of it is because of his shortcomings on the passing end.
No, you're right about that. You are.
But I do believe that he's worth more than any of the guys we've talked about and their contracts. He's worth far more than any of that.
Absolutely. I think Lamar Jackson is a difference maker.
Yeah.
And that, doesn't necessarily mean that he can throw the ball better than anybody else or anything like that, but he does make a difference when he is under center. He does.
No.
So the Jets are optimistic that they will land Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is apparently going the full Brett Favre route.
You're right.
You can't make it. So that means, hey, Vikings fans, chalk it up. You're going to get Aaron Rodgers right after this.
Yeah, the next year.
So, Rodgers and the Packers executives have reportedly both met with Jets officials.
Yeah.
Will Joe Namath give him number 12?
Did we talk about
I
this?
think we did, actually.
Yeah.
I think he should. No, Joe Namath. No, we did, because Joe Namath said that I think I read that.
He said that he would.
He would.
I think he should. I mean, Joe Namath is fucking probably pretty overrated, if we're being real.
Yeah. I mean, he was like Babe Ruth, and he called a shot, and it,
Right.
and it worked out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's cool that Aaron Rodgers could potentially go from one green team to another, so it won't be that weird. Different shade.
I do love that this is the team that Brett Favre played for.
After,
I mean, I know Brett Favre played for the Falcons to start, so it's a little different.
Well, okay, yeah.
A little different, but still, pretty ironic, especially since there was not a little animosity between the two when they were together
It's
in
like
Green Bay.
they're mirrors.
Right.
It's just it's funny. It's history repeats itself. Right? History certainly repeats itself.
Outside of Brett Favre's dick pic and his fraudulent charities, would you take his life or Aaron Rodgers' life?
As of right now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know I took out some big factors.
I think I would be Brett Favre because Aaron Rodgers just he's a little too egotistical.
Oh, he's such a douchebag.
Brett Favre was like more of an airhead. Brett Favre was like the guy you'd want to be next door neighbors to.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers is like the guy who would call the cops on you for talking past 10 o'clock.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Brett is definitely, let's go shoot some beer cans, next to the river or next to the lake.
Like, get our BB guns,
Right.
shoot some cans.
And I think for me too, like I know what it's like to grow up in Northern California, like Aaron Rodgers did. I don't know what it's like to grow up in Mississippi, like Brett Favre did.
I'd rather be Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Well, and Brett Favre is, he's in the NFL top 100. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers will probably be in the top 200 or some shit like that.
I mean, he's Mr. Wrangler.
He's Mr. What's the Copper
Fitz. Throwing dimes to Jerry Rice. I think we got that duo together at one point.
Dude, you got Joe Montana and CV, okay? You don't need any more than that. You don't. Come on. Are you kidding me?
But Brett was just a gunslinger. It'd be a lot of 50+ yard touchdowns.
You're right about that. On to the NBA. John Morant is stupid, and he will sit out for 4 more games.
Yeah, flashing guns on IG Live, being a part of like a gang, I guess. I don't even know what's going on really.
I just hope, I'll make it quick, John Morant gets help that he needs.
Right.
In all seriousness, he needs the help that he needs. He needs a good support system. I know he has that because I've seen a lot of shit on Twitter, and he had a 2-family household and all that growing up.
Yeah.
And that's great. And I guess I didn't really have that, but you've had that.
He has not grown up in like a situation, and maybe it's one of those things where he grew up pretty well compared to his whatever he would consider his peers.
Exactly.
And he liked the idea of the other side of things, and just kind of got caught. He really does, and like you said, I hope he gets his shit straightened out, but he really does need to figure it out because I mean he's getting a lot of money to play for a franchise.
And he's a really, really good player, if not
He's a great player, yeah. I mean, he's at least a borderline superstar. A lot of people would say he's a superstar, but yeah, no, he needs to get his act together. I think he will. I think he just having a lapse in judgment right now. And especially, like, man, this is the worst year to do it because the West is pretty fucking wide open. Like, they could be... I still think that overall there are young, inexperienced immature team, but this could be a year where they could sneak into the finals.
Well, and like Josh said, he's fine in the West, so he's not really
Yeah,
worried.
right.
He's not really worried about it.
Fucking clown.
At this
I
point.
do. I don't even want to get into it, but the Grizzlies are stupid.
Who the Warriors play tonight? Who they lose to tonight? Okay, cool. Just make sure.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're cool.
Yeah. So, John, get better, please. We all want you to get good.
Yep. Straighten out that head.
Yes.
Got faith.
Kevin Durant rolled his ankle in warm-ups before his home debut
Yeah, it
for the
was-
Suns.
Yeah.
I saw this.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I also can't believe that that was going to be his home debut. Because I feel
Well-
like he's played for the Suns have been on the road for this long. I know he didn't play for a couple of games.
Right. I think the first handful of games that he missed might have been at home, but yeah. And then after that, they went on the road when he was healthy.
It's just that's bad. And he rolled it good.
Yeah.
He rolled it
It's
pretty
a bummer.
good. As a person who's rolled a couple ankles in his lifetime, it's
not fun.
I hate you see it and you're like,
Yeah.
because he's out for. I saw that he's out for.
They're not going to reevaluate him for at least 2 weeks.
He's gonna be out for the rest of the regular season. I heard,
Oh, is that right?
and then maybe even some playoff games.
That's tough.
Which is fucked up because, speaking of our contender rankings, I had the Suns pretty high. And I think I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah.
But that does not make me feel good at all. So speaking of our contender rankings, do you
Here
wanna
they
go
are.
first? Yeah, here they are.
Yeah, the Suns were playing some pretty nice basketball.
Anytime you got Kevin Durant on your team, as you know, you got a chance.
You're going to be good.
You're going to be good.
Do you want to go first? Me first? Do we want to talk about what this is? Just to remind the fans
Yeah, go
and
for it.
listeners?
Go for it.
So, contender ranking is a very personal list. It can be anything that you want it to be, essentially. You can have as many teams as you want. It could be all 30. It could be 2, 1, 0. No, it's got to be at least 1.
And I think, did we start doing this last year?
Last year was the first year.
Because I remember you had a lot more teams than I did,
I-
which made me feel a little bad. I was like, man, should I have had more? But
No.
you're the kind of guy that wants to keep it wide open for.
Well, last year I did really feel like it was wide open, and this year I've peeled back a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
I do remember, I want to say I started with 9 or 10 teams.
It's a lot. It's
Um,
a lot.
but that's really how I felt about the NBA last year. I felt like it was kind of out there. Like, I didn't have the Celtics on my very first list, I don't believe, and they made it to the finals.
Yeah, they did.
I think I had the Warriors pretty low for most of the time on my list, and they ended up winning it all. So I think that kind of tells you what you need to know about last year.
Yeah.
Now, last year was different than this year. This year,
But it's still kind of wide open.
it's still pretty wide open. The standings are just odd to look at, especially if you look at the West outside of the top 2 or 3 teams.
Dude, are you kidding me? The Kings, as of right now, are either the 2 or the 3 seed because the Memphis won.
Right.
But I never.
But they're not even winning 60% of the games, which is crazy to think.
Yeah. I mean, because the Nuggets are gonna win them.
They got the top seed for sure. So it's really in every team that's on your list, you have to believe that they have, some outside shot at least to win the title. And of course, you can add teams to your list as this goes on, which we'll update when necessary. So
Yes.
like next week, I could have a different list,
And we're gonna
and
do
you could say no, I don't have any changes.
And we're doing this weekly.
It'll be optional every week.
Okay.
Yeah. So every time you have a change, you say, "Yo, it's time."
Yes.
So I'll let you go first.
Yeah.
And start from the bottom, I would say. So how many teams did you have?
I got 6.
6? Right.
6. So 6. Funny enough, I had the Sixers. They're the third seed in the East. At 5, I got your Warriors in there, and they were the 5th seed in the West, or at least they were when I did my notes.
I believe there's 6 now. Yeah.
This is solely based off of me laughing in your face. How long
You
it was.
can't be so wrong this year.
No, I can't. And I do think if this team gets in the playoffs, nobody wants to see them.
Oh yeah.
I know they're terrible, terrible, terrible on the road.
It's so hard to figure out right now.
But the Warriors, you got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green on the same court. They haven't lost a playoff series since 2014. So
Yeah.
I like their chances anytime they're playing in the playoffs. 4 seed, I got the Nuggets, the first in the Western Conference. I know that's probably pretty low, but
That's not terrible.
I just can't imagine them hoisting the trophy at the end of the season. I can't. Is it because the past couple of years they've come up short? Probably. Is this a new
I
year?
mean,
Is this a new year?
It's pretty much every year the Nuggets come up short.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, I got them before. Sorry.
Your breadbasket guys are gonna be mad, really, because they're Denver boys.
Are they Denver boys? Okay. 3, I got the Suns. Obviously, after the Kevin Durant news, I don't feel as great about it. Do I think the Suns can win the West or the Finals without Kevin Durant? No, I don't at all. But here we are. I think Kevin Durant. I think the Suns could do well enough from this point on to win at least a playoff series without Kevin Durant.
For sure.
And then KD come back. You know, coming off an ankle, it's not like coming off an ACL or an MCL.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think.
No.
He'll be a little rusty, but it's Kevin Durant.
Yeah. I think a jury's still out on how long that injury is going to be. Like, he could come back before the season's over.
Number 2 for me is the Celtics. They are the 2nd seed in the East. Reigning Eastern Conference champions. They've been playing well all season. They got a good core. You know, different coach, which is, you know, you got to give them props for doing that.
I think the fact that they've played as well as they have without having Udoka there I think it speaks to their players.
And number 1 for me is the Bucks. They're the first in the East. Is this because I picked them to win the whole thing earlier this season? Maybe a little bit. They're also playing great basketball.
I mean,
they won like 16 straight.
16 straight. Just recently snapped that. Yeah.
That's nothing to scoff at.
Right. No doubt.
And they've had a good core nucleus for a few years since their finals year.
Yeah.
You know, Giannis is an animal. You can't stop that guy.
No, it's yeah. I like your list. Very good list.
Thank you.
I also have 6 teams.
Okay.
I don't have the Sixers though at 6. I have this is probably going to shock you. And I don't know why I like this pick, but I feel like I'm putting it in there just so I can be right.
I saw what you put.
Just in case something crazy happens. But I have the Cavaliers at number 6.
You're telling me you can see the Cavs hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy?
There's something about that team.
Yeah.
And I think I like the fact that they have 2 really nice guards, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, both all-star caliber players. And I like that they have probably the best duo of bigs in Evan Mobley and Jared Allen in the league.
Okay.
I mean, I know bigs is the word bigs is kind of thrown around easily. Like,
yeah.
Some people could call Draymond Green a big. I don't know if that's really the truth. He's 6'6" or 7, you know?
Yeah.
But true bigs, they have the Twin Towers, as people like to call them.
Yeah.
So I find them to be a very interesting team, and I feel like I want to say they might have the first or second best point differential in the NBA, which doesn't mean nothing to me. Like it means something to me.
Oh yeah.
A little bit.
It has to mean it's something.
Right.
It's something.
Now, can that get distorted by some blowout wins where the bench comes in and extends the lead and it doesn't, or vice versa? Sure, but I find that to be a very intriguing team. Maybe they are really a year away from building that true chemistry to be a championship type team, but I like them. I got the Warriors at 5, kind of similar reasons as you do. I mean, after today, I was almost like going to take them off the list, but it just I know what they are capable of. It's just, is the bench unit going to give them enough? Are they going to be able to play quality defense on the road in the playoffs? Because they've been atrocious defensively on the road this year. So it's just it's really odd to watch them, because they obviously just went on a 5-game home winning streak recently, but they just can't win a game on the road to save their lives.
They can't. They're 7-26 now on the road.
7-26, lost 8 straight on the road.
Is that good?
It's it's all right. It's better than I could do.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Just kidding. Anyways. So I do differ from you in that I have the Suns at number 4 and the Nuggets at number 3. The reason I have the Suns at number 4 is I feel like, just especially when you integrate it, I know KD is pretty good when it comes to just throwing a guy in there.
Chemistry.
And seeing what could happen. But yeah, chemistry, especially halfway through, or more than halfway through a season. And now the injury doesn't help either. So yeah, I feel like it would just be kind of hard to think about them winning the title after all that, which is why I have these other 3 teams ahead of them. And Nuggets number 3, and I feel like the Nuggets, they have to be the team that comes out of the West. If you're thinking about them, and what they've failed to do in the past handful of years. They went to the conference finals in the bubble, which that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, right? But every other year it's been first or second round exit. It's like you got to put it together. They have the team to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about Jokic is going to win probably the third straight MVP.
It's insane.
Jamal Murray's a pretty nice point guard.
Of course.
Is he elite? No, but he's very good. And then you talk about MPJ and Aaron Gordon at the forward spots are two very good players at their positions. They got the length, athleticism.
Mike Malone's a good coach.
Mike Malone is a very good coach. I mean, I know the Kings are doing just fine with Mike Brown now, but I felt like when the Kings let him go, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me, the Nuggets, I don't feel like they're the favorite to win it all, but they need to be the team, in my opinion, out of the West. They have no excuses at this point. Celtics, I have number 2 as well. I feel like I could have put them number 1, but I just don't really trust Tatum and Brown quite yet.
Okay.
I really do like them though. Like they probably
Last year wasn't enough for you?
No, because I mean the Warriors. They should have beat the Warriors. They really should have.
You really think that?
If you think about it, those guys are in their athletic prime. They still have some time to develop as overall players, but
I'm shocked. I'm kind of shocked you're saying this.
I
And you're not one of these Warriors. I don't know. You're not one of these Warriors fans that thinks the Warriors are the best thing since sliced bread.
no, I mean I don't think that Warriors team was probably the worst of the 4 championship teams if you just look at them on paper,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's either that one or the 20.
The first one, yeah, fair. But I'm just looking for a little more, and to me, Jason Tatum being the best player on the team kind of makes me not want to pull for or not think that they're going to win it all. I don't believe in him totally yet.
You don't think he's him. You think he's soft.
I feel like he thinks he's Kevin Durant, but he's just not quite Kevin Durant.
Like to me, Jalen Brown has that dog in him.
He does. I really like Jalen Brown.
More than Jason Tatum. But Jason Tatum
As an individual, all-around player, like I'll take Tatum by a little bit, but I don't think that. I think people talk about Tatum as if he's the guy. He's just. I feel like he's just missing a little something, but I don't know.
I know what you mean. I can't.
It's hard to.
I can't pinpoint what it is.
Yeah, I know it sounds stupid to just say I don't feel like he's the guy, but when I watch him, I feel like he's just missing a little bit. I don't feel like he can. I'm just gonna throw a percentage out. I don't feel like you can shoot 46% and be that guy.
Okay.
Like you got to be that 50+% guy.
Yeah.
And then I got the Bucks at number 1, just like you. And the reason I really felt like I could have put the Celtics at number 1 is that I don't feel like the Bucks are the same without a good Chris Middleton, which he has not been good this year.
Yeah.
He's missed a lot of games, of course, because he's coming off that injury from last season. But I still do like the Bucks overall. I mean, Giannis is amazing.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday is a nice point guard. I do think that someone's going to have to step up other than those 2 guys for them to get to the finals, but I give them the best chance right now.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. And that's it for the NBA, right?
It is. Yeah, I felt like 1-2 is interchangeable, but
Yeah.
I'll go Bucks for now.
On to some UFC news. Jon Jones returned to the Octagon last Saturday
He's back.
to face. Can you help me out with this name, please?
Oh, Cyril Gane?
Cyril Gane. Thank
Yeah.
you. Who is
Frenchie.
Parisian?
Is he Parisian?
I think he's from Paris.
Oh,
or
yeah.
maybe French.
Yeah.
or- yeah.
Parisian, yeah?
Yeah.
I was, for some reason, I was thinking Peruvian when he said that. It's like, he's from Peru?
For the heavyweight
Shit.
title. First fight in nearly 3 years for Jon Jones. Also his heavyweight debut. And Jon Jones won this fight by submission in just a little over 2 minutes into the first round.
I don't know why, but I thought it was only a minute in, but I guess it was 2 minutes.
Still the first round, and I can't believe that Jon Jones was able to make it look this easy.
Yeah,
I know Jon Jones, everyone calls him the GOAT. I haven't been watching the UFC for as long as his career's been going on. But you're telling me this guy takes off 3 years.
just,
Looks like a guy who's been drinking a 12-pack a day.
he doesn't look like he's in.
He looks like he's one of us out there, belly-wise.
Well, he looked like he tried hard to put on weight, is really what it is.
Okay, yeah, going to heavyweight.
Right.
And he put this guy down who's been fighting in the UFC probably for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
That easy. It's unbelievable. And he submission.
Yeah, he just choked him out.
He choked him out.
Yeah, it was really odd to see. This is another one where I got to the place I was going to watch the fight right before the main event started.
Yeah.
Speaking of what we were talking about earlier. So I was super juiced to be there for it, assuming it was going to,
Was there a lot of people at Dylan's?
No, it was just 6 of us. Danny and then Taylor, Dylan, Katie Elise.
Nice.
Yeah, a little disappointing, I guess, or underwhelming, I would say. I mean, it just...
When you pay for a fight, you want it to go a little further than that.
Right.
I would kind of put that in the Mike Tyson category where you want the fight to go a little longer, but
Right.
it just doesn't happen.
And for me, even if, like, I watched some other good fights along the way, which I didn't, but even if I did, I still would not feel like I got my money's worth because this is what I bought the fight fight card for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't pay for it, but just in general, like, if that was the case.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, Jon Jones, this guy
He's a beast.
This guy seems like he can roll out of bed and beat anybody. It's unbelievable.
Pretty
It
much.
really is.
I mean, 27-1, his one loss was by disqualification.
Yeah,
He had one no decision or whatever they call it. But yeah,
he's different.
he is different. I read today that he defended his light heavyweight title 11 times.
Oh yeah, he has the most title defense wins I think of all time in the UFC.
It's crazy. And now he's heavyweight champ. So.
Heavyweight, he's got the belt. He's the heavyweight champ.
I mean, I feel like the only one who you would consider to be the GOAT other than him would maybe be Khabib. But Khabib also didn't fight nearly as many fights as he does.
Yeah, Khabib's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's kind of a bummer that he gave up, but I get it. Like, he got to that point where no one he was fighting was giving him a shot. Like,
No.
it was over quickly very often.
So, Jon Jones here, and he even admits this. He's not a great person. He's not a great guy, but he's a hell of a fighter, and I gotta give it to you. You're a badass at what you do.
I think I knew this, but I forgot that he is Chandler Jones' brother.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. The guy who plays for the Raiders now, I guess. The one who stiff-armed Mac Jones. For the win.
Did he play for the Chiefs?
No, that was Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
Chandler Jones played for the Patriots for a while, then the
Okay.
Cardinals, and then just recently played with the Raiders this last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Good, very good football player.
Very good genes in that family.
Right.
Fucking Jon Jones, man. John
Bones.
Jones. Not Jerry Bones Jones, but John Bones Jones.
You could tell Bruce Buffer was very happy to see him back in the
Oh,
octagon.
yeah. Dude, Bruce Buffer,
He's a gun.
he's popping veins when he's up there.
Oh yeah. Him and who's his brother that does the boxing? I forget his
Bruce
name.
Buffer. Or no?
No, Bruce does UFC, right?
No.
Michael Buffer. Michael Buffer does boxing.
Boxing, okay.
Bruce
sorry,
does
sorry,
UFC.
sorry.
Yeah. Michael Buffer.
You see Bruce Buffer,
doing UFC. Yeah.
or you see him more often now. So
Right, because UFC is more popular.
Yeah.
And Michael Buffer might not even do that anymore. To be honest.
He's probably done.
Yeah, he's probably good.
But he was pretty good. Yeah. All right, let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be a good.
That would be good.
That would be a good one to start the day with.
Absolutely. But Bruce Buffer, no, Michael Buffer. Look it up.
Michael Buffer is the boxing guy.
Is he?
Bruce Buffer is the guy who does UFC currently. 100%.
Yeah, okay, I'll take your word for it. The Kings are blowing it, by the way. Oh, down by one now.
It's only a 1 point.
Down by one now to the New York Knicks.
They're up by one.
Or up by one, excuse me.
Well, I guess it's that time, Gage.
That was easy.
Last call.
Yeah, buddy. What'd you do to your...
I put the.
Oops.
That's how I get the water off
Oh, I see.
my beers.
I see.
So what do you got?
I got quite a bit. I mean, do you have anything juicy?
I had two things that you already, or two of my own things, yes. So
Gotcha.
you go.
All right. Well, the World Baseball Classic is underway. Yeah. I've been watching a couple games. It's been kind of fun to watch. I guess Ohtani had a really nice day earlier today. 4 innings pitched. Also had 2 hits. And Japan won their first game. But But yeah, I mean, U.S. starts their tournament on Saturday. Should be fun. They're playing Mexico on Sunday. Rowdy Tellez playing for Mexico.
Ooh.
You ready?
Future
ISR guest.
ISR guest. 100%.
But in the baseball realm of things, Manny Machado recently signed an 11-year, $350 million contract extension with the Padres.
I should have played baseball.
Shit. It's gonna be. I mean, the Padres are gonna be set for the next, I would say, 4 years at the minimum. At least they'll think that way, whether they're winning or not.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be funny in like 6-7 years when these guys start to fall off. I mean, you got Bogarts. Bogarts just turned 30. Machado's 30.
They're trying to win now.
Yeah. I mean, who really knows what Tatis is gonna do coming off the suspension?
We know Soto's going to be a stud.
Soto's awesome, but he wasn't very good last year. Like, overall, his numbers were not spectacular. And he's a free agent after this coming year.
Giants.
I think the Dodgers are peeling back to go all, because the Dodgers didn't do shit this offseason, right? If you think about it,
Yeah.
I just feel like they're going to go all in for him.
Don't
If he has a great year, the Dodgers will go in all in for him.
don't say that.
But if the Padres are smart and he's having a great year, mid-season extension, lay down $400 million. Can't let him get away if you really want him.
Not kidding.
Also, Jim Boeheim was announced yesterday.
I was going to mention this.
Yeah, he's not returning to Syracuse. 47 years as head coach.
47.
Only team he ever coached, by the way. Yeah, crazy. 5 Final Four appearances, 2003 national champion with Melo, of course. Easy to remember that one. This guy had a .717 career winning percentage. That's pretty damn amazing. Second most wins all time, of course, behind Coach K.
And that's what makes it in perspective that he has won national championship
It is crazy.
in 47 years.
Yeah.
That's a very bad percentage.
Well, I mean, yeah. If you compare Syracuse
do
to the
we
Blue
know-
Bloods,
Do we know if he went to the championship game in the other 4 Final Four appearances?
you know, I didn't look into that. I didn't, but
Because I don't think
I want to say probably not.
Nico was there for 2 of them, freshman year.
2 of the Final Four appearances.
And
Yeah,
I don't think they made it to the championship.
I believe they did not. Yeah,
So that leaves 1 out.
right.
So
Or 2 more.
well, no, because if you count all 5,
The
so
2 that Nico was there,
2 Nico was there.
and then
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's If you compare them to the Blue Bloods, like if you take Duke, of course, North Carolina, Kansas, maybe even Michigan State, they're not there. But I mean, winning a national championship is not an easy thing to do.
It's not. It's not.
I mean, you got to win 6 straight games these days to win the whole thing.
But when you're somewhere for 47 years and you hit the pinnacle once,
Well, yeah, it's tough because
it's hard. It's hard. It is very hard.
they would like Syracuse probably didn't know any different or better, you know.
Yeah.
But hell of a run. Obviously, the last 4 years they were not ranked any week of the seasons. Just one tournament appearance, of course. So probably felt it was time. He's 78 years old. It's got to be a time where you just say. I mean, it sounded like he probably did want to come back, but I think this is
It's time.
yeah, it's time. It's probably time to hang it up there, Jimmy.
I talked to Nico about it. He said it's time.
Yeah, I felt like last handful of times I've talked to Nico about Syracuse basketball, he felt like it was the end of the run.
Time to move on. Sad, but it's an incredible career.
Right, no doubt.
Incredible career.
Speaking of college basketball, we got March Madness beginning next week, and we're going to do a tournament challenge, of course, yeah, which we've had trouble getting people to join. I know filling out a bracket, it's a little tedious, but
It's tough.
yeah, you
We'll
just,
do it through ESPN.
just take 10 minutes and knock it out.
And we'll
Yeah.
promote it. Like,
Don't have to overthink it.
we're gonna shove it down your throats.
Yeah.
So you better join.
I think, you think $10 would be another good
Yeah.
reason to get people into it?
Yeah.
I feel like money, without being over the top.
Money's more of an incentive to join.
Right. A prize.
Prize, absolutely.
So yeah, we'll do that again. Should be fun, as always.
Maybe throw some ISR gear too. Maybe
We'll see.
depending
I
on.
don't know if I have any gear.
You don't have any hats left?
I might have some shit.
Get some
We'll
shirts?
see. I don't think anyone wants those hats though. Not much of a prize. It's more of a like get it out of my inventory.
I should just donate those all to work and just
See, yeah,
Hey, dude,
that would be kind of funny.
and then put them. It's nice. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, you put something out and people see it.
Oh yeah, advertisement.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not watched a lick of college basketball at all. But no, it's still fun.
I hate college basketball.
but it's March Madness, and we'll do it.
It's a very fun event, tournament, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But college basketball sucks. I just can't get my mind wrapped around when people say, I can't watch the NBA, but they love college basketball. Just can't do it.
Yeah, I get it.
To each their own.
So, did you see Tommy Fury beat Jake Paul in a split decision
That's
for
right.
Paul's first loss?
I was wondering if we had talked about that yet, but no. Yeah.
Are you sad?
No.
Neither am I. We're moving on.
Yeah. Jake Paul's a puss.
Tommy Fury handled him.
Did he? That's what I've heard.
And I'm glad because, people are coming out with these, script is a good word now these days. Jake Paul has a script, he's going to win. It's already in the books. Didn't happen. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah.
Whatever. Also, do you know who Kelsey Plum is? She is
For the name.
she's an NBA player for the Las Vegas Aces. You've probably seen her before. She married Darren Waller.
Oh.
Tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
I saw this on Instagram, whatever, and I was just like, wait, what? I had no idea. I like pop culture, and you see things, you hear things.
Yeah.
But they had a full blown wedding. She looked great. He looked great. He also had a tattoo on the side of his head,
Does he really?
and he had it shaved and all that. It looked, it's badass.
Wow.
But the fact that these two were seemingly able to keep this relationship under wraps for so long, good for them, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want all this, publicity. Who wants that? They don't need it because they're professionals. But congrats to them. I had no idea you guys were dating, but you guys looked very happy at the wedding.
They're joining the Swansons as a couple that live or play in the same city now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, that's also what I thought, too, because I was like, oh, well, she plays in Vegas, and he's in Vegas now, so I'm sure that's probably how they met.
I would imagine so. It's also funny to think though, like Darren Waller may not be a Raider for that much longer.
And I'm sure they've talked about that, and they'll make it work.
Right, I'm sure they
Darren Waller makes a lot of money.
will. Ooh. Well, Kings will stretch it back out to 5 with 7 minutes left.
They sure have.
Shall we wrap this up and go watch the end of the game?
We should,
Okay.
because this has been a long episode. But
Very
we
long.
also we took a week off.
We
though.
took
a week
It's
off.
been 2 weeks since our last episode, but it's
I
great
am-
to get back to it.
I am truly intoxicated on this report.
There you go.
This sports
That's
report,
what it's
so-
all about.
Yes. It is.
Well, thank you all for watching, listening. Not totally sure what the schedule's going to be going forward, but we'll keep you posted, and
Yes. Yes.
we'll see you next time. Peace.